Hello, all. Good morning. It's Thursday, March 20th. Is this our month? Hello, Grandma Evie. Hello, Matt C. Sachs. Tabby, I'm looking forward to that get together myself when this thing is done. Hello, Rexy05 Leslie K. Hoops, my Titan MGU girl. Good to see you in the house. Gypsy, Baron, Country Chick. Hello, Sue Beth, Sherry, Rebecca, DF61. Hello, Terrelyn. Hello, M. Dobbs. Hello, Marine Corps Sergeant. Hello, Jamitch. Hello, Marty and Ninja Mittens. 1156 Lane. Good to see you in the house. Tom, Georgia Whippoorwill. What are we getting into today? All right, I got a fun one for you. Oh, wait a minute. Libby just said my hubby and I's 26-year anniversary. Happy anniversary. Any fun birthdays before we get into some of the oh, wait. Cindy's doing 69 today. Years old. Hello, Martin B. Gaston. Good morning. Good morning. I see Ben Salem, Pennsylvania, checking into the house. Hello, Sinoli. Hello, Zoe's Bob. Hello, Pad, Florida State. We're supposed to get YouTube back tomorrow, Walker. That is the rumor right now. By the way, Sunday the 16th was my birthday. Turned 47. Bean Ogles, happy belated birthday. Another one we missed. Hello, C. Dave C. And always Diane. Let's see. I know there's a chance it's going to April. No, Bob, I definitely don't. I think there's a possibility exchanging could go into April, but just because it's going to take a while. But we'll talk about it this morning. Student loans have slowly been going away. Levi turning 13 today. We got a new teenager. Hello and happy birthday to Levi. Let's see. Arizona, 20 degrees cold. Oh, no way. No, needs to heat up with the 800s. Tommy, right? That's the plan. Get YouTube back for the big day. Oh, man. Coffee's. Oh, I do need to do this. We're adding some mushrooms to the coffee. One of those freedom enhancers. Can we just call them liberal tears of liberals, liberal tears or something? Instead of like cordyceps and lion mane. Tried to forget to do that this morning. All right. Now I can get back to you. April 2nd's Liberation Day for America. Hello, Ivanelli. Yeah, Hunter Guy, definitely missed May 30th on you, but I'll be around ready for it this one. See, Jack's auntie, my baby brother, turned 50 yesterday and bowled his second 300 or perfect game last night. That's impressive. I've thrown a perfect dart game, but I've never bowled a. Okay, I wasn't that good at bowling. I was pretty good at darts back in the day. Time for Happy Dance. My granddaughter's birthday was Tuesday, but I couldn't get through. She turned 14. And next year, it's learning permits and cars and enjoying some of these this morning. Texas Veritas, April 10th. We should be knocked out by then. God knows, I certainly hope so. Ivan L, what kind? It is an extract. Really, really high potency stuff. It's lion's mane, cordyceps. It's a tincture of the two. Really do enjoy it. So it's they've done a really, really neat extraction process. I need to have that guy on that does that sometime. He is unreal wealth of knowledge and just a hoot. Today's my granddaughter's birthday, 25 years old. Sue Beth, happy birthday to the granddaughter. Bill Coons, always a pleasure. Uh-oh, time for, isn't it a little scary when they start, although driving, you almost have to like hound your children nowadays to get the permit, go through the process, so they can have their driver's license. It was not that way when we were going through. We were all like chasing our parents. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get that permit. Let's get that driving time. In today's world, they don't seem very concerned. It's the weirdest thing. I don't think they understand the level of freedom it gives them, the ability to chase their dreams, to work, to function. Oh, yeah, okay. Somebody saw a chat here. If you are interested in the drops to add to it, the goal is to work on a number of different ones, but here is the momentum. Lion's mane and cordyceps tincture, the Myco series. We're working to add different additives so you don't have to change the flavors of your coffee or jump through. If it doesn't even have to be coffee, you can put it in your tea. Please post the red light site again. Satibo for let me see. It's gonna be in me links somewhere. Give me a moment. I'll see if I can find it. Number 5. Myredlight.com. Myredlight.com. Make certain you use the discount code that they gave us. Make certain I get this one right. I don't want to mess it up. It's like, does somebody remember that one? Pretty certain it's just MarkZ. But I don't want to mess that up because it gets 10% off. So, yes, just code MarkZ, coupon code just MarkZ. And I'm going to add that. Somebody was looking for the red light one. He is coming on next week, so you guys will be able to ask him questions. He is coming in on the 25th. He is joining us. I think it's the evening of the 25th. I don't remember if it was evening or daytime, but he's joining us the 25th. Let me drop that link up. And then let's get back. Let's get started on some news and stuff today. See, Mountain Goat article. Iraq confirms economic crisis with the digital dinar. The parallel market is threatened with extinction. Central Bank of Iraq is preparing to launch digital dinar, marking the transition to digital currency management. I want to add that this is no longer a long-term objective, but something they're to do now. I mean, now, guys, when you see that, when they talk about the digital dinar, they have talked about that in the past, guys. They laid out what they call the I-dinar. Again, trying to repeat this. This is one that was a huge news splash just a few years ago. They were going to do an I-dinar. It was a physical measure of gold based on the historic dinar mixed with a basket of currencies from the region and petrochemicals. So an asset-backed digital currency. The representation, you will still have cash because many of the areas don't, but the cash will represent the digital. The digital is 100, backed by assets. I don't know if it was 100%. I don't have it in front of me or whether it was a portion. But I think it was in totality, meaning totally, but part of it gold, part of it chemicals, and part of it the basket of currencies or foreign currency reserves, if I remember the article correctly. I need to search for it and share it with you guys, or the number of articles that were printed at the time about the I-dinar. They've told us what they're doing. And what they're doing is lifting they talked about it even back then, lifting that purchasing power. I love it. All right, let's get to it. What news there is, and now it has been eerily quiet. I do have a number of groups now. Well, I shouldn't say a number. 3 different groups that have expressed to me their expectations to process them over the weekend. That means that it's highly possible we could see 4A moving over the weekend, which would just be huge. I'm waiting for updates on that one. Thursday, I already have an update. I do have some wealth managers working this weekend. They don't know if they're going to have to work both days yet. They're supposed to find out tomorrow morning. All right, let's keep running. Out of Iraq, it looks like we are breaking that logjam. Parliamentary Committee, Kurdistan region's oil exports resume next week. They're saying they have, after extensive discussions between the Parliament and the Ministry of Oil, they will resume next week. Let us know that they have it worked out and they are going to resume, guys. This is a big piece. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for that budget table. And it looks like they are coming to fruition over this weekend, that they have it all pounded out. Now, this one to me is interesting because we have 2 very conflicting articles back to back, which was identical to what we saw the morning and the days leading up to Kuwait's value change and China's. Here we have $146,000 per $100. Dollar falls significantly. Same day, another article. Wait a minute. The dollar against the dinar, new economic report. The rise of the dollar. Wait. The fall of the dollar, the rise of the dollar, fall of the dollar, rise of the dollar. All written on the same day, like moments apart. It's the same wishy-washy yo-yo information to keep us scratching our heads and wondering. Wonderful, wonderful job at misdirection there, and very similar to what we have seen in the last few currency revaluations. This one, Iraq achieved self-sufficiency in 7 crops, and they'll kind of surprise you. The date probably doesn't surprise you so much. I'd like to try one of their dates. I do like dates. Oh, anybody good like bacon wrap date with Spanish cream cheese in it? Ooh, I'm getting myself excited. I might have to go find some dates today and do some cooking. All right, the Iraqi Ministry of Agriculture has reported that the country has achieved self-sufficiency in 7 crops and is exporting 13 crops internationally. It's going to kind of surprise you. Well, rice isn't one of them, but they have greatly increased their rice production. Iraq is becoming agriculturally self-sufficient and a powerhouse, which economically throughout history, they were the breadbasket of the Middle East, or a large portion of that. But these include wheat. I love that one. Wheat. That one surprised me. They produce more wheat than they use. They sell it out of country. That one very much surprised me. That wheat one, because now they are the center for the Middle East. Of course, they also have self-sufficiency in dates, the wheat, tomatoes, potatoes, and watermelon. Very interesting. Emphasize strong government focus to the sector with a target of 30 million palm trees within 3 years. Iraq said they were going to make changes, and they've been making massive changes. Said they were going to develop and broaden their economy. They have done so, and they continue. I just love it. Sissy Jag, happy birthday. Pretty excited about that one. Shirley's birthday. Surely it's Shirley's birthday. All right, now let me slow down. Where are we at? Oh, wait a minute. Sunflower Blooms just said, so the Israel's your ally was the biggest brainwashing psyop in living history. All right, let's take a moment. Let's talk about JFK files. While we haven't learned anything huge about who did it, what we have learned is one of the most removed or suppressed word, because we can now go back and look at previous redactions on documents as opposed to what we have now. We can go and we can look at everything that was redacted, and then we can see the new version that doesn't have nearly as many redactions, and we can see what word they were redacting. One of the most redacted words in the JFK files was Israel. Anybody remember Q saying we're saving Israel for last? What have we learned? That Israel has an enormous influence in PSYOP and color revolution, controlling who's in power and who's not in the U.S. I mean, the biggest takeaway from those JFK files should be that the CIA is overthrowing countries around the world, that they use PSYOPs on their own people, and that Israel plays a massive role therein. So you look at how many color revolutions, how many huge changes that have happened in the U.S. and around the world that have been affected by those two things, by the nation of Israel and U.S. or CIA. That is your huge takeaway. And Q said, saving Israel for last. What did these files show us? They showed us that extreme level of corruption. Guys, I'm not taking it out on the Jewish people at all. Not at all. I think that would be foolish for folks to do. This is a leadership issue. Also in the U.S., I do not believe the U.S. is inherently evil. Do I believe some of the leaders that have manipulated and used us in the U.S. are evil, inherently evil? Yes, but not the nation itself. That is us. That is we, the people. So we're going to have to find a way to divorce our notion that Israel's bad when we think of the Israeli people, but we can find their government very bad, as dictated, as we've learned in a very impressive manner by reading the JFK files. So for all out there wondering when's it going to happen, how close are we? Remember, he said he was saving Israel for last. All right, there's my diversion for the morning on that front. Lot to digest there. Oh, Bowler. Getting things done, 2 hot water heaters and stuff. Yeah, normal life, right? All right, let's get back to it. Wood UFO mid-flight couldn't go last night at 3:30 a.m., so they thought plan B would be to have 74-year-old Curry drive 55 miles on a black ice to get blood to the patient. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't even know the background on that one. Yeah, there you go. Israeli people are not evil. I don't believe there's an inherently evil population, period. I do believe there are some inherently evil people, though, that have fallen for the lies. Yeah, didn't you love that one? Now suddenly you have Trump looking to prohibit dual citizenship. Makes you wonder if they're not focusing on the one where we have so many politicians that do have that joint. Dude in Colorado, I appreciate that. He was just commenting on the John Dowling interview that released. I thoroughly enjoyed doing that with John. Texas artist, you got it. I do not believe anybody in elected office should have dual citizenship. They need to be focused on taking care of their country, and their country is the one which they reside and live in. You've checked out the prison. No, wait a minute. Let's get into. We got more to talk about. Vision Dancer said, my dad told me that we need to cut off Israel before he passed. Naval Sea and Weapons Supply Manager. There's a lot of history there. BLJ, we had a 1-week strike on YouTube. Anytime we get a 1-week strike on YouTube, you can find us on Rumble. It happens more often than we would like to admit. But yeah, make certain you know where else to find us. It was a good reminder to the world, right? Although actually our numbers have gone way up this week as opposed to normal. Like overall, our overall numbers have just exploded this week when they took us off YouTube. Makes you wonder if it's worth being on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, we're going back. Don't panic. I like the tech better, but the overall number of watches skyrocketed when we went to just Rumble. Like in aggregate. Penny. Yeah, I know you guys like Twitch, but I have a serious tough time with the amount of hate they're allowing. The anti-Semitic, the hate towards conservatives, towards specifically Trump conservatives or Make America Great conservatives. If you guys start complaining Twitch enough about a certain couple of podcasters over there, then maybe Twitch will do something about it. But they are trading the millions of views that they get from that hate-filled speech to they sold their soul for those views. I'm not going to forgive them until they do something to deserve forgiveness. They haven't asked for forgiveness. They haven't made any attempt. Would you forgive your spouse if they were doing really rotten things behind your back and undermining you and kept doing them, and you had the conversation, they kept doing and nothing changed? Yeah, you want it. And you shun it. So I shan't forgive them until they try to do something to rectify it. So that's my take on that one. Penny, I looked right at you. I did. You're asking me to forgive somebody that's saying that you guys should all be locked up, that you should lose everything. Hey, you should probably be violently abused. And I'm just not going to go there. Let's see. Dizzle Rizzle, enjoying my birthday today. Can't wait to hear the Freddie Fender gnarly. Hello, Dizzle. Happy birthday. All right, we got more to talk about. Let's get into some other things. I'm certain we can find something fun to talk about. Oh, this one's a great one to talk about. This is something I've been pushing. Ecuador's president calls for U.S. special forces to help fight the war on drugs and gangs. Of course, Noboa, the president, they'd even looked at hiring some mercenary groups from the U.S. to come help fight them. Now he is calling directly for military intervention. He doesn't want to keep playing these games. He wants to come in and be decisive. So he is reaching out. Let's see. Matter of fact, I want to try to get this one. Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa said he wants special forces troops from the United States, Brazil, and Europe to come to his country and help his government fight a war against drug gangs. Matter of fact, he takes it even further. An interview with the BBC published on March 19th, Noboa also said he wanted President Donald Trump to designate several Ecuadorian gangs as terrorist groups, as he has done for several Mexican, El Salvadorian, and Venezuelan cartels and gangs. Noboa from the National. Okay, we can leave all that part out. Crime and security, some of his top issues. There is an election coming, so some of this could be a play to show how he wants to fight all the crime and corruption. But Noboa said that what began as criminal groups have now become an international narco-terrorist organizations with up to 14,000 armed members. He also quotes figures saying about 70% of the cocaine that makes it to the world market originates or comes through Ecuador. So he is calling on action with extreme prejudice. He wants to go after them with active military, not mercenaries. We're talking overwhelming force. And I think this is Donald Trump's golden opportunity to show Central and South America that the U.S. can be a great neighbor. Many of the people that flee and come across the southern border are trying to escape those gangs. So if you take care of that and allow prosperity, they're not going to want to jump all over everything. You know, every country out there where you get deported when you enter illegally, the UK, France, Germany, Denmark, all these countries are the ones telling us we should take everybody illegally, but they won't take them illegally. Just a reminder on that one. The hypocrisy is just, damning and ringing. Heck, you don't even get to go hang out in Canada illegally. They chase you down. But Canada's constantly telling us we shouldn't be chasing them down. Fight me. That one always irritated. Same countries out there ridiculing us for our electoral system because we insist on voter ID. They all insist on voter ID. Just the basic, simple things. They don't allow non-citizens to vote, but we should. Nah. Goose and gander thing. All right. We should probably get back to this one. This is a golden opportunity for Donald Trump to show Central America and South America he should come in with overwhelming force and aid to help them establish a better infrastructure. It would do a long things, hearts and minds, guys. But it's also more than that. It is doing the right thing. It helps us and it helps the Ecuadorian people. It also sets a precedence for the rest of Central and South America. You would have other presidents reaching out and saying, hey, we'd love to have your help. Let's take care of this once and for all. Let's make a permanent change in safety and security and give people hope throughout the Americas. I love this opportunity. I hope he does not squander it. I would make it one of my absolute top priorities if I were the Trump administration. FBI suspected MS-13 gang leader on 10 most wanted list captured in Mexico. Now in the U.S., Francisco Javier Roman Bardales is the third fugitive of the most wanted list to be apprehended since Trump's inauguration. Promises made, promises kept. He is chasing it every different direction and doing exactly what he said. Dougie Jack said, I agree, Mark. It's our opportunity to be Central America's friend. It's an enormous. Yeah, Congo's asked for help from Trump also. Enormous opportunity between the African continent and the Central and South America. Enormous opportunity to do what we should have been doing. Not playing regime change, not playing on those. We should support those that want safety, freedom, and democracy, specifically democracy in the form of the republic. Long live the republic. Perhaps that's what we should change our podcast to. Long live the republic. Air Eagle, do you think Iraq's hiding a rate and they're missing Gazette paper? Yes. I think that's part of what we're going to see over the weekend at this point. I could be wrong, guys. I don't have some empirical knowledge. I reserve the right to be wrong like every other guru out there. Find me one that has been 100% accurate. There hasn't been one. Um, but based on what we're hearing, yeah, I think we're probably going to see that revealed probably within the next 7 to 10 days or so, possibly over the weekend. We have enough groups gearing up for the weekend that it's highly possible. We have votes coming over the weekend, Parliament Committee. We have oil getting ready to resume, possibly budget tables on Sunday. There's a whole heck of a lot happening right now that points to pretty well points to done. Yeah, somebody else said the dual citizenship in this area didn't allow it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave some of those up there. You guys know it to be true. Quester, that is one thing I've not gotten an update, and I'm trying to see if my CMKX contacts have heard anything. For this close, they may have heard of at least updatings on fines and penalties or something. So I'm chasing it. Reading a few of these before I dive back in. Let's see. Kate Thompson, am I correct that people in first basket currency gets appointments but take all currency with them? And people with second basket but no first basket go next, and so on. I'm told that whatever goes first, that everything after that will go as it is prepared, not in a big basket. You may have two or three go at a time, but I've been told over and over and over that it will most likely work that way. One bigger basket to start with, and then as ready. They have not collected 3-0 notes from the streets. Now, we are hearing that they are not giving out as often larger notes, that they seem to be restricting them and forcing people to carry around more smaller notes, 5,000 notes, 250 notes, etc. I've been reading a few of these this morning. People to go just to give a thumbs down. Yeah, paid troll, bitter people with nothing better to do. I mean, come on, if you don't think it's happening, why do you waste your time chasing chat rooms about it? Just move on with your life. In other words, you're not fooling anybody. You either have a serious mental issue or you're a paid troll, one of the two. Marty, you mentioned the Republic. Don't we need to get it off life support first? I think it's already off life support. I think, and you're proof of that. You being here is proof of that. Me being here is proof of that. Flipper being here, Surfer being here, Phineas being here, all of you guys being here, you are proof that the Republic is alive and about to thrive. Bowler, folks, with all your strength, hold on to your patience, and you will not become a basket case. It's been a tough one. They put us through hell. Blue sky, right? 10% would be a bonus. You only got to be right once, and we're pushing towards it. Reading many of these guys. I know I need to be paying more attention to what you guys are talking about, but I'm having too much time. Let's see, what are the markets doing? They were expected to be relatively flat today after they're up 197. Job people are. I where do I start this one? The break between Main Street and Wall Street appears to be in full force because the numbers are now telling us that the economy should be absolutely tanking, but jobs aren't tanking. Banks are struggling. There's a lot going on in the financial world where there are some serious struggles, but on Main Street, things are getting better. And that to me shows the very clear break between Main Street and Wall Street. We're seeing some pretty impressive job numbers, even after some corrections post Biden, where they had fudged numbers. Even now, looking at far more accurate numbers, it's showing that we are gaining, not losing. So we saw February, the first gain in manufacturing in over 2 or 3 years. So people, I'm talking about specifically in the American market, meaning there are more people manufacturing and durable goods are being produced. We're bringing back manufacturing, and this is just like in the beginning stages. It's exciting to know that we may have well, I shouldn't say we may. As long as you and I keep swinging, as long as the working class keeps swinging, we will have a bit of a golden age. Is there a sound thing like a note near? Yeah, I don't know what you mean there. Yeah, price of eggs has come down considerably. Yeah, sound off. Have you seen a decent change? Believer in we should be back on YouTube tomorrow morning, even. If not tomorrow morning, we'll definitely be back Saturday morning. So just make certain you catch them all. And now I got a weed eater right outside my door as the neighbor's trimming. All I can do is apologize, guys. I'm just gonna hang out with you all. You want to ask some questions? We got a little bit of time before we have Stacy Z join us. Let's see if we have any good breaking news this morning. We have Trump that is supposed to sign an order eliminating the Department of Education today. Remember, we went from number one in the world to number, like, what are we now? 24th or 25th in the, we'll call it westernized world or slash whatever in education. Saudi Arabia outranks us in education, right? I mean, of course, if you're from Saudi Arabia, you're probably upset that I even pointed that out. But there are some very interesting countries that are screaming ahead of us in quality of education. It should be absolutely embarrassing to anybody that works at the Department of Education that you have been so trounced while you're busy up there doing all your DEI crazy slash whatever with the highest budget in the world per student. And you have just tanked American academic performance. And it's not like you get to blame just COVID. Oh, it's all the screens. We had to learn remote. It's that fault because all the other countries went through it too. And the decline started before COVID was even a thing, before they had launched it on us. So I don't buy it. Let's see, a dozen jumbo eggs was $4.98 yesterday. We've been buying eggs off local farmer at $3 a dozen. You got to love that one. Penny, thank you. I enjoyed the time with Mr. Dowling. He's just a super guy. Just a super individual. I'm reading a few of these. Yeah, it was all done by design. I agree. They tanked Saul Zelensky. And anybody pay attention to any of those things? The Obama plan to implode America, killing education was part of it. I'm just reading a few of these. Yes, Ninja Mittens asking when this goes, will accounts at collection agencies be zeroed out? I was told very specifically by many sources that yes, they would be. And I believe it to be accurate. Somebody asking for the Mushroom Ladies link. I'm going to give you the easiest link I have found. I know. It's supposed to be an easy one where it's just like MarkZPets.com. And it does work. I have like one browser where it doesn't want to do a forward. So I've just found this one works better. The MarkZPets.mypetclub247.com. I found that it just works better. And those ladies are joining us. They were supposed to join us last night, but now because the YouTube thing, or yesterday, but because the YouTube thing, they're going to be actually 2 days ago, they were supposed to join us. So I saw you over there. They're joining us next week or the 31st. I don't remember which one. I don't have it in front of me. And then Kukla even put it up for you. She's good. BlackRock filed bankruptcy. A company named BlackRock filed bank. They've been going through bankruptcy stuff, but they just happen to share a name, not the BlackRock. Time for Happy Dance. Local Tractor Supply sold out of chickens. If you don't have the space, chickens are an expensive hobby. Keep buying your eggs. Go find a neighbor that has some chickens that has room for them to free range so that there's some free bugs and etc. It can be expensive to raise your own chickens. It's very rewarding. It's a lot of fun. They're dirty though. They're very dirty. So you have to be prepared for it. I'm just reading a few of those. Let's see. Cooked a big cheap hunk of hog yesterday, loaded up with beef bouillon, and made believe I was eating Angus filet mignon. Life's good. I don't know. That delicious, fatty, salty flavor when you do a whole huge chunk of pork. It's something. Post RV. I want a barbecue pit behind the house where I can do a whole pig often. Gee, Skinner. Oh, people are not getting the whole chicken owning thing. It's insane. 400 chicks here sold in less than 20 minutes. Oh, geez, I love this. Jay in Montana, well, JMT54, are laying hens who are pushing 4.5 years old, just started laying eggs again. Apparently, they saw the price of eggs and are trying to build a nest egg. Dot dot. Joe Mama said, love chickens. They destroy your garden. They will work your garden over. Uh, Kate, my daughter has 11 chickens. We love them. They're a riot. I always enjoyed the smaller chickens. I know the eggs are smaller, but the bantams, excuse me, bantam chickens, they eat so much less. Yes, the eggs are smaller, but I mean, they eat like a third and the eggs only half the size. So bang for the buck, they're a better buck, and they tend to be healthier in my opinion. I always like the smaller bantam chickens. All the cool different feathers, colors. Quail eggs are good. Duck eggs are surprisingly good. Mel of Hess, yes, that is one thing. We've got somebody here that in the community that really wants to do um, processing plants for chickens, beef, pork, etc. Smaller ones based on community and size, local ones throughout the country, so nothing gets shipped out and shipped back. And I love the idea, so farmers can bring them to market. The big companies have always banded together to destroy the small ones, but I think if you and I go, if we're willing to pay 5 cents more, 10 cents more a pound for our meats, then we can know that we're getting pasture raised, locally grown, etc. Which I think would be huge and make a statement, which would force the bigs to adapt and give us higher quality, which is a great idea. An ostrich egg, right? Or an emu egg. Yeah, boy, you ain't lying, Mark. We had 16 hens, and with food and everything, we figured we needed to sell a dozen eggs at 32.73 per dozen to break even. Yeah, something like that. Puerto Rico, we're very lucky because we have the perfect climate and the bugs. You can have, I mean, chickens survive here all day long with no feed. You don't give them food, you don't give them water. They just live wild all over the island. So you got the land as long as it's fenced off. You give them roosting boxes and just let them go back there at the end of the day, but we're very unusual on that front. Pigs are also meant to grow up in jungles, chickens in jungles. It's where they originally come from. Let's see. Links just said, hi, Mark. Let's assume that Mike Barra is right. Barra. Excuse me. I do that often. I call him Barra, but it's Barra. But we have other currencies that do not go yet. We have to wait for a second or third or fourth wait. We don't know if they're going to give us a multi-currency account in SKRs, LNX. I keep being told that they are going to offer us multi-currency accounts so that we will be able to go ahead and exchange our other currencies. The rate just won't change, meaning we'll have a bank account with them in, and then when it does, you've got nothing to do. That's what I've heard most often. I honestly, we should hope that only a few of them go because it allows us to do a lot more for humanity and have a bunch more ready to buy other currencies. But that's my take. And I know a lot of people don't like my take. I have a very long term look at the world and what's best. And, but we live in, we're all we're worried about right now. We're starving right now. We're hurting right now. So we're willing to, nobody wants to delay that gratification. And I get it. Let's see. J2 Grana. Mark, how far into the Trump presidency will it be until you think he will push for term limits in Congress? Will there have to be a referendum of the people for that? I need to study that. I wonder if I could get away with, if we could get away with forcing that onto the ballot by a massive petition to change term limits. Mermaid Bliss, brilliant MarkZ. I could help that plan of local processors. Maybe that needs to be one of our like group humanitarian projects. We group together funding and we turn them into co-ops where we put up 100% of the money for these facilities, and then the farmers all get to use them, bring their meats there as kind of like a co-op. People get to buy the meat. In other words, we build the co-op structure and then it maintains itself by treating it as a co-op, a cooperative. I know I didn't do a very good job describing it. Some of you guys will know exactly what I'm speaking of. Let's see. Eagle Claw. Mark, my daughter teaches history in South Carolina, and the students tell the teachers to go F off. It has become very disrespectful and is very discouraging to those trying to teach. Yeah, we got to fix the family unit. And unfortunately, to fix the family unit, we got to fix the educational system, because too many families don't raise their children anymore. They give them to the schools to raise. They're just trying to help the kids survive until they can send them off to the school system. So unfortunately, right, wrong, or indifferent, you're not going to suddenly make all those parents give a damn. So we have to somehow find a way to make the school give a damn. And part of that's going to be getting rid of the Department of Education and letting states go, you know what? We're going to go back to paddling if we have to. We're going to do whatever it takes to get discipline back in the classroom. It's your child. The parent can go to jail. In other words, force the parent to do the right thing. If the child is completely incapable of behaving and discipline, then take them out of the school system. If the kid's not in school, then the parents go to jail. At some point, you got to force the issue. You got to cram it down their throat, right, wrong, indifferent. The whole world's not fair. Never has been. It will be one day, but not until Christ returns, which a lot of people think it is coming in the next 5 years. Yeah, Flipper, already thinking along the lines of co-op. I love it. Let's see. Do I even want? D.R. Price, D.C. There was a genetic study done by an Israeli doctor in the early 2000s. Israeli citizens had less than 10% DNA relation to Semite tribe, over 80% genetic relation to the Semite tribe, and the Palestinians. Yeah, there have been some interesting ones with the native Indians in the Caribbean, and many of them had more genetic lines going to ancient Israel than people living in Israel. Yeah, like almost a lost tribe maybe came and settled in the Caribbean or something. It's really neat following those genetics, tracking down what happened in history. Sassy Me said, we got a 300-pound pig from the Amish for 90 cents a pound. I'm going to go start doing whole hogs. I love it. Hidden passenger, kids shouldn't be allowed to have phones in class. We weren't even allowed a simple calculator. No, but we were better for it. I do think there's a place for calculators come in, but not until they have learned the fundamentals. Phones should absolutely be collected, or they should just go ahead and put in phone blockers in all the classrooms, but you don't want to do that for safety reasons. And I totally understand that. And understand the argument, but at some point you have to get kids' eyes off the screens. What else do we know? That reading a book right here, you don't comprehend or retain as much of it as you do when you are reading a book like this, where it is in print. This is scientifically, it is absolutely 100% proven after study, after study, after study. Handing them a laptop, handing them a tablet is not nearly as effective as handing them an old-fashioned book and learning. Your retention is completely different. We know that when we cut the phone off within a month or two, mental health improves drastically. We also know that in human beings, if you spend too much screen time scrolling through social media, so TikTok being ticked off, going in Telegram, and you don't go outside enough and enjoy the world, it affects your mental happiness in a very marked way. So put it down, walk outside, go talk to your neighbor, pick up a book. And I'm still just rambling. All right, it's time to get Stacy Z in here. Let's sing some happy birthdays and then learn something about health. RV today, your thoughts on Biden's rubber stamp, his signature on pardons legal in the stamp? No, it is not legal, RV today. One thing they have found in the overwhelm, they only have found a handful that seem to be his signature. The pardon for his son doesn't even appear to be his signature, but it could be. We do know that there's a lot of mental health issue. Mental health issues going on with Biden as he was aging, memory issues, etc. I don't know what else you want to call it. His mental health was shot. Kukli, yes, you do. But a number of those orders were signed when he was not in D.C., making it physically impossible for him to have signed them. Sometimes Delaware, sometimes Florida, sometimes somewhere else vacationing in the country, or just not there. And a number of them, he wasn't in the country, period. He wasn't even in the United States when he supposedly signed these things. Plus, of course, we have that story where Biden supposedly signed executive order cutting off liquid gas to Europe. Mike Johnson had the conversation present. I don't understand why'd you do it. He's like, wait, he sent everybody else. I didn't do that. He said, yes, you did. And then they went and found the order. They brought it in. The staff brought it in and said, yeah, right here. It's right here. You signed it. He's like, I didn't sign it. So he immediately signed an executive order reversing it. He wasn't there. And they were just playing him. They just put it in front. He'd sign it. He got used. Of course, he was okay with it. So, all right, Cindy, Levi, Sissy Jag, Shirley, Dizzle, anybody else sound off? So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love. Make all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. To all those celebrating. How about a national co-op when we can have satellite co-ops in our area? That's exactly Noni Mom, what I'm looking for. A national co-op for farmers of not only just butcher houses, processing, call them whatever you want. We used to call them the butcher, take them down to the butcher and get them processed. But they should also have a produce section so local farmers can come and have very, very, very inexpensive booth rental to sell their vegetables and produce. We're going to make the small farmer great again. I love it. All right. Let's bring in some of the big guns here.
Some of the big guns.